Hi, it's Cheryl. Welcome to Homeward Studio. Guess what today's video is going to be about? Succulents. And if you like succulents, this is the video for you. I have 4 ideas to share with you, and this video is actually inspired by my daughter Alexa, who loves succulents. And here's some of her succulents, and let's just take a peek at them. This is a bay window in my craft room that she has taken over. But she has some really cool pieces here. And here's a little bit of my craft room. It's still pretty messy. I'm organizing it, but I have a flower wall over there, and then over here I have a shelf full of my ribbon. And that's what I'm going to show you right now. Maybe soon I'll show you my craft room, but it's messy. Here's some more succulents of hers and some aloe in my kitchen. Anyway, do you see this picture right here? Those are bookends. I saw them at Barnes & Noble, and I saw them again on Etsy. And we're going to make some succulent bookends. Those were $30, and they were plastic, and they didn't come with succulents. And they were cheap looking. So I told her, no, I'm not buying them. So if she wants them for her dorm room, I said, I will make you some. So I have these 2 glass pieces from the Dollar Tree, the 2 succulents from the Dollar Tree, the 2 floral foam pieces, and some paint in the color chalk paint in the color pumpkin, and also in the color ink, which is black. So now I'm taking these pieces here, remove the tags obviously from the glass and clean it really good, and I just pushed it down really hard into the square piece, and it made the indent. And now I did not cut myself. I know it looked bad there, but I didn't. And now I just took a serrated knife, and I have this speeded up this video. Go really, really slow so you don't cut yourself, and maybe put like a towel underneath it. So I cut both of them off, and now I'm going to paint the rough side, not the smooth side, the rough side, because we want this to look like dirt. And this is the ink chalk paint, and it really soaks this in, and it takes a long time for it to dry. And you see the flecks that are spilling off there? Those are the little pieces of the foam, or the, I don't know what you call it, styrofoam, yeah. So don't dip your paint in the paint container, because you'll get those little pieces in there. So that's why I poured it on there, and I just gave it a really, really, really good coat. And I took my blow dryer to it, because this usually takes overnight for it to dry. So now I am mixing the pumpkin and the ink chalk paint together to make a terracotta color. I didn't have enough terracotta acrylic, and I really wanted to try to use a chalk paint because it adheres better to glass. And this turned, I don't know, it was a mucky brown, so I knew it needed a little bit more red. So I just have a red acrylic in here because I have a ton of red acrylic paint. I'm trying to mix it in, and then that didn't work so well, and then I found this in my stash, and it's called red oxide, and it is actually from the Dollar Tree. So I put a ton of that in there, and I'm making a lot of paint because I really don't want to have to remix this again. Took a terracotta pot, and I kept looking at it and seeing, you know, if it matched, and eventually it did. So I put too much black in the beginning, and that was part of the problem, and then you do have to put a little bit of black in, but also a lot of red. And so now I am just taking and painting 2 really good coats on these pieces all over the top, the sides, and the bottom, and then down about 2 inches into the inside of it. Now 2 coats, and let that dry. And now I'm taking this little damper, and the 3rd coat is going to be that, so you don't see any brush strokes in it. And I did both pieces again. And now I have this still the same color, the red oxide, and I just put a little bit in that bowl. And if you look at terracotta up closely, there's really many colors in there. There's a little bit of brown, maybe a little bit of black, very, very faint. When I studied art and paint in college, that's what my instructor would always say. Really look at the grass, because grass is just not green. There's brown in it and yellow and, you know, different colors. So that's kind of what I was doing, is really studying the terracotta pot, because I really wanted these to be perfect for her. So I put some red on there, and then I took the terracotta color that I made and put it over the red to almost mask it almost entirely, but not completely. Now I have this Waverly clear wax, and what this does, it seals and protects, and they say it's non-toxic. So I put a really good coat over the entire piece, the sides, the bottom, and especially the top, because we're going to be shoving that hard foam down in there. So and then this needs a good 24 hours to dry too before we put the foam in there. And so that's what it looks like. It looks shiny. Now they say after 24 hours with a lint-free cloth for desired sheen, you can just buff it out. I took my finger and buffed it out, and so it dulls it. The more you rub it off, the more it dulls it. So these turned out pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with the color and everything, even though it took me a while to get that color. Now I'm just measuring, because I want, you know, I know that this succulent pick is going to touch the bottom, so I wanted to make sure I didn't need to cut any, or if I needed to cut the bottom off. I just wanted the succulent to sit on top of the foam, if that makes sense. So if the stem was too long, then it would have like a part of the stem sticking up above the foam. So then I put it in the foam, both of the pieces there in the middle. And now I'm adding some rocks that I got from the Dollar Tree, because these are going to be bookends and I want them to have weight. So they need to be strong enough to obviously hold books in the center. And then I just put that down there, that floral foam, really, really well. So you want this to be very, very tight. And now I'm just cutting little pieces of foam off, and of the leftover that I had, and I'm shoving them in there really, really good, and covering up all those little holes, because this was a circle and obviously the container is square, so I had the edges there. And now I'm just painting them, and I have this little teeny tiny brush, and I'm just very carefully getting in there into all the little crevices, and that's it. It's simple. It just took a while for the paint to dry, but simple and easy, and I love these. I think they turned out really nice. Let me know what you think. Okay, so now I'm making a hanging topiary, and I have these 4 plastic balls from the Dollar Tree, and I have some skewers here, and I'm just going to poke one through the 2 holes so it holds, because we're going to paint them, and this is the only way I could think of how to hold them, because they're big, they're not small. And I painted them with a truffle brown chalk paint, just 1 coat. Because when we put the succulents on this, I don't want to be able to see any white. That's why I painted it. But you don't worry about the inside. You're not going to see it at all. And now when that's dry, I'm just taking a bunch of succulents. I have a huge Rubbermaid container of succulents, and so I'm using them all on this project. And hey, if you are a subscriber, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for all your support, your likes, your shares, and your comments. I appreciate all of you. You're amazing. And if you're not a subscriber, a very warm welcome to my channel, Homeward Studio. And please consider subscribing to my channel. It really helps me grow. And in doing so, you'll be notified every single time I post a new video. Anyway, as you can see here, I just keep on adding succulents. And I know this can be kind of costly. And so I just kept on building up the succulents, and most of these are from the Dollar Tree, but some of them I thrifted. I get a big container full of them for a couple bucks. So, you know, you can put as many as you want on these or as little as you want on them. And that's what I'm doing to all three of these pieces, just putting different colors of interest and different styles of succulents around here. And then that ribbon we got from the Dollar Tree last year. They had different colors. This is obviously the green. And I'm kind of weaving it around, and I'm making a big loop. I tied the end into a knot, a double knot, and I poked it through one of the holes, and then I glued it, and then afterwards I glued a succulent in there. So the loop is a hanger, and you do that to all three of them. And now I'm filling up the little areas with some moss. Like I said, if you don't want to use all these succulents, I get it. That's fine, because it's, you know, it can cost $1.25 each, can get, you know, pricey. But this is going to go on my gazebo, so I really wanted to do this one up and make it kind of big. So moss in between, and then 3 loops. Now I'm going to make a tassel for the bottom. This step here, braiding it, I thought it would be cool. I just took jute and braided 3 of them together. Not necessary at all, but I braided them because I wanted it to be thicker, and I'll show you in a minute. Now I have some cardboard, and I wrapped this around a bazillion times. No, probably 20 times, or however many times you want to, you know, make your tassel, how thick you want it. Now I took that, pulled it off of cardboard, and then trimmed off all these little extra pieces. And now I'm tying it with that braided jute there, right in the middle. Make sure it's in the middle. And now I'm just going to wrap, I'm sorry, it's slightly out of screen. My eyes aren't the best, and I always have to, it's hard for me. I always kind of pull it up to my face so I can see what I'm doing, even though I have reading glasses on. So I just wrapped a bunch of around the top of the loop there, and then I threw a little bit of hot glue on it, tied it, of course, a couple times, and then hot glued it so it doesn't come apart. Now I'm just clipping the ends off here, all the little circles or loops, and then I'm going to trim it up really good at the end so it's all nice and even. And this is a tassel for the bottom. So I have all those loops and all those little round pieces made. And now I'm just going to tie jute from one of the loops, the green ribbon loops, to the other. So they're just all tied together. This is the last one that I'm finishing putting together now. And because one of those little holes there, we're going to put the tassel right into the little hole there. So a bunch of hot glue, and then I'm just jamming the tassel in there with my little spatula thing, and then just giving it a couple little last minute tweaks here and there. And this is what it looks like hanging on my door, because my gazebo's not up yet. The frame is up, but the top to go around it is not, because we're in Michigan and it's still pretty cold, and we just had snow last week. So yeah, this is close up, and I love this piece. It's so colorful and fun, and I think it'll look great in my gazebo. Let me know what you feel about this. Here's a third piece, and this is just a little succulent box. You can use it as a tiered tray piece, or just like kind of a little shelf sitter, quick and easy to do and fun and inexpensive. Here's the pieces I have: 3 succulents, and the chalk paint in truffle and in the white, in this little crate. Actually, there's 2 sizes of crates at the Dollar Tree. This one is the larger crate. And I painted that all one coat with the truffle, let it dry, and now I'm going over with a very, very heavy hand and painting it in white, just distressing it. And I did the whole thing, just like the truffle, the inside, the outside, everywhere. And there's what it looks like when it's done, and I did the white into the inside too. So I have this terracotta that was left over that I put in a jar because there was so much of it, which I'm glad because I do like this color and I'll probably use it a lot. And I'm just giving 2 coats of this is half chalk, half acrylic paint onto these 3 little succulent containers. The third one I sponge on with that little damper. And while those are drying, I have these rub-on decals from the Dollar Tree. And I took 2 pieces that matched. They're just like little scrolly, leafy type things, and you just cut out what you want, peel it off before you touch it at all. Know where you're going to put it, and then press it down. Because once you put it down, even if you don't rub it on, once you put it down, it'll stick. And so now I'm just taking the end of a paintbrush, and I'm just scratching it on there, rubbing it on there, and then you pull the piece up, the plastic on the top, and voila. And same thing, the succulent transfers are from the Dollar Tree also. And I'm just going to put one right in the middle. And same thing. Now I have some jute. And I'm just going to run a very thin line of jute around the bottom of the crate. And I'm going to take some more jute, and the red one is going to go in the middle, and I'm going to wrap it, I don't know, 3, 4, or 5 times, probably 3 or 4 times, and then just hot glue it. And I didn't do this, and I am going to have to do this, and I didn't say earlier, but do put a protective coating on it, like that clear that I had earlier. That's fine, or Mod Podge would even work, because as I was gluing this on, I would nick it with my finger, and then it would scrape that paint right off. And then these 2 that will be on the ends, I'm just putting just one like wrap of, I can't even talk right now, jute around the top. You know what I mean? You can see what I mean. I did this video all entirely in one day, and my head's a little wishy-washy. But I wanted to get it done because I love succulents too, and I was super excited to do all this. So I have these butterfly stickers from the Dollar Tree, and I just put them on there. And this is what it looks like. And here's a close-up. And here's my last piece. And I have these 3, I don't know, they're like pictures or cardboard from the Dollar Tree. And I have these 3 pieces of, what do you call it, just paper from Hobby Lobby. I believe that's where I got them. And 2 match, and 1 is different. It's more of a like a wood look. And I think they were 69 cents, and I'm sure I got them for 40% off. And now I'm just going to take these cardboard pieces, and I'm going to take a glue stick and run it around the edges, especially the edges and the corners really well, and obviously in the middle. And I'm just gluing all the paper on there. I have this brayer that I got. It was like $10 at one of the craft stores. And I just pressed it down really well. And I have these 3 baskets from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just removing the stem off these succulents. So 3 baskets, and 2 of them will be exactly the same and 1 will be different. And I'm just gluing. I'm running out of succulents. I have a whole box, I'm telling you, I really do. Now they're almost gone, which is good. So now I have an empty box, I can put something else in. Anyway, I just glued those onto the basket, onto the bottom of the basket, and put one of those like ferny looking leaves in there. And then a couple succulents, or 3 succulents in one of the other baskets, and then reinforcing them. And I'm going to throw some moss, some Spanish moss in there, just a little bit. My daughter, it bothers her that people put like Spanish moss and rocks in with succulents. That's why her bookends that I made in the beginning only have dirt in them and they're plain. So I did that on purpose. And when she saw this piece, she's like, why did you put Spanish moss in there? You're not supposed to put Spanish moss in with succulents. And I just laughed. I don't know, because I like it. So now I'm just gluing these 3 boards together. And I have these shower rings from the Dollar Tree. And I just snapped it together and then glued the plastic. And then now I'm gluing the end of a piece of rope onto that and let it dry. And when it's all good and dry, then you can, this is out of screen again, I'm trying to keep it in screen, and then I forget because I can't see and I get so involved in what I'm doing. But I just wrapped the rope around there over and over again. And in between each one of those, I just put a dab of hot glue to kind of hold them together. And this is kind of a big piece too. It's kind of cool. And I'm just clipping off the little pieces here that are sticking up from the rope, and now I'm just going to glue it and try to glue it right into itself. So trim off the rope as far down as you can, and then I love that spatula because it's silicone and the glue doesn't stick on it, and I can just take it and really like mash the ends of either, whether it's jute or rope or whatever it is, just mash it into itself. And now I'm just going to take the rest of this rope and just outline the inside of this, just to give it a little bit more character, I guess. And then I just fold it up there and then cut it off and glue it. And so now we're going to make the hanger, and I just kind of measured it to the length I wanted, and see, I took this little loop here and I pulled the end through and then knotted it onto the round piece, just like that. Really easy. And then now I'm just going to, now you can see what these pieces look like. I'm sure that you've seen them at the Dollar Tree. They're really kind of cheesy. I had them in my stash forever, so I'm just trying to use what I have because I have a lot. I know I could tell you guys that all the time, but I have a lot. It's bad. But I'm trying to really use what I have, but also I wanted to be nice pieces that you can use in your home or you can give away as gifts too. So I don't want to use something that and just throw it together just to use it, just to get it out of my stash, you know what I mean? But because I really want to do my very best for you and give you ideas that you haven't seen before. So now I'm just gluing the 3 baskets on here. And this is what it looks like. I thought it was a little dull, so I took one of those butterflies from the Dollar Tree and glued it up on top there, and now I love this piece, and it was so easy, and it did not take very long to make either. So tell me what you think about this piece. And actually, let me know which one is your favorite. I would love to hear which one you like the best. Well, thank you for spending time with me, and I really hope that I've inspired you. So, if I did, let me know. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I'll be back very soon with some more fun ideas. Have a great week. Bye.